And I think the perspectives of the animal who's being harmed, we just decide it doesn't matter as much because it's not the same, it's just not, if animals could speak English, if it were a Disney movie, we would be a very different thing.
Do you consume animal products or of any sort?
I do, and I'm a hypocrite for it.
My take on the issue of animal rights is a little bit different because I think we should be as humane to animals as we possibly can, knowing, of course, that we're going to be eating them later, which maybe doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, I feel like the idea of be nice to animals, but the idea of rights and like inalienable rights and things like that, these are human constructs, right? These are things that human beings within their cultures and within their societies, these are ideas that they develop. And so obviously animals don't want to be harmed, but I sometimes just in the interest of playing devil's advocate, I wonder like if we could have like an animal farm kind of situation, like where animals could in an intellectual sense like create a society where they where they have similar social constructs that humans do. Or like how would the way that we see our treatment of animals be different?
Well, it would certainly help if they had, oh my goodness. It would certainly be different if they had social interactions the way we do, but they actually do have surprisingly complex social interactions.
And that's why I kind of hesitated a little bit.
Often what happens is we're often very unaware of those because it's something that doesn't get put into the discourse because it's uncomfortable. And so really the more you learn about animal sentience and their emotions and sociability, the more you realize that they're actually a lot more like us than we think and that we would have like been raised to believe. Just because there's not a lot of incentive to tell us that is one of the things that I've noticed. Yeah.
True.
Why do you think we don't think about it too often?
I think because it's just become such a big thing. Like it's in fast food. Like I think just eating meat is just like, I don't know if people all think about it. It's just like animal slaughter. It's just like, it's meat. Yeah. So I think that's why people don't think about it, or I don't think about it all the time.
Like if you saw pictures next to each piece of meat when you bought it of an animal or of an animal in a slaughterhouse, do you think that would change your behavior at all?
Okay, the only thing I'm going to say is no. Okay. Just because, the animal is already dead. But I wouldn't want to like I wouldn't want to buy something if it's like endorsing like that. Yeah. So, maybe a little. Yeah,
okay. What sort of could you do to help stop that?
I guess just petitions. I'm not really too sure about activism in that sense.
Yeah, and I mean, activists are great. I don't even think you have to do that, though. Like, if you would sort of cease to eat those products, if you did go vegan, you save somewhere between 30 and 600 animals per year. So there's sort of there's a wide range there. The low end is 30, though.
Wait, so you said that going to a vegan spot, you save how many?
If you went vegan, you save 30 to 600 animals per year.
Wait, how does that save animals? Isn't it still going on, though? Like, they're still producing. Mm-hmm. So just because I don't get meat, aren't they still going to produce it, though?
No, so what will happen is, like if you go to, for instance, let's say you go to the grocery store, right? And instead of buying meat, dairy, eggs, you buy either lentils, beans, vegetables, or maybe you buy like mock meats like Beyond Burger or something like that, right? So that grocery store then, the demand goes down for those products. Okay. So they track all that in their systems, right? And so then they'll purchase less of it, which means the producers will produce less of it. Okay. See what I'm saying? But then also the thing is when you're buying the other options, right? Like if you buy a vegan burger or vegan milk, demand goes up for them. And so then they start bringing those in more. And so you kind of got a double-edged sword thing going on. Yeah. Where you're sort of putting a chokehold on this industry and then sort of boosting up that industry. Yeah. Is the sort of way it works. Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely want to go vegan again. I don't really like the practices, the steroids they pump into them and all that. Yeah. And so, but yeah.
Do you consume animal products or of any sort?
I do, and I'm a hypocrite for it.
I think people should know, like everyone should know about it. Because if you don't know about it and then you're just like continuously doing, if you know about it and like you're okay with that, that's your decision. But
are you okay with it?
I would rather there be like a lot less of that. But like, because I can't just be like, oh no, completely gone. Because I would like that because I don't really eat meat at all. But that can't happen. That's like unrealistic. Totally.
Why not?
It's just how like people are. Like kind of the analogy to like COVID or whatever. Not everyone's getting the vaccine. That's gonna be the same way. A lot of people just eat meat like every single day. And if you like take that out of like your diet, I don't think people are gonna do that.
Do you think there were other times in history when we treated individuals as objects that people thought would never end?
Yes.
Did they end? For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part.
Within animal species, we're not distinguishing, I don't know, brown cows from white cows. I don't know, but like the racialization or the othering of types within a species is something that animals don't do, or that we don't project onto animals quite so much. Like
Do we think about dogs and fish
I was
differently?
just going to say that too, because I was like, well, you can think about dogs, like, yes, like we were talking about pity, type of animals. They get abused and their treatment is horrible. So that is a little bit different. You're right. But I would say one could argue that when you look at different dog breeds, like there are in fact biological, clear genetic differences. Like yes, they can all mate within the species and intermix and all that stuff, but there are breeds of dogs that are bred for very specific traits. These little ankle biter dogs can be really violent and really unpleasant to be around, but if one jumps at you, it's probably not going to hurt you. And so the idea of othering dogs because they appear scary, I think there is a bit more justification for doing that.
But would there be justification for farming them, torturing them their whole lives, and killing them?
No. But in other cultures, there are other cultures that don't value dogs and cats the way we do and would happily farm and eat a dog. And that's just... And maybe they would say, sure, why not? In plenty of other countries of the world, they eat all these kinds of things that horrify us for no particular reason other than we've projected some sort of, hierarchy on the kinds of animals that we eat versus the ones we, love and take care of.
What would you say, I guess, is the more important consideration? You have two individuals. One individual is inflicting sort of pain and suffering on the other one. Is it the individual who's inflicting that pain or suffering whose perspective and right should be honored more, or is it the individual who is being victimized or oppressed? We can care about both of them, but where should our sort of,
Why is the person being victimized?
Well, let's say for taste pleasure.
Okay.
In this case.
Okay. Obviously, I don't hunt. I don't raise my own food for eating because that obviously would make me very uncomfortable. And if I were the one having to prepare and process my own animal products that I use, that would make me think twice about it a lot more readily than I do otherwise. And so the fact that I'm not the one actually doing the thing, and also that animal cannot verbally in my language communicate back to me exactly what it. And it's not voiceless entirely.
Yeah, that's
because,
true.
They react. They don't like what's happening.
Yeah.
But, you can tune it out because you're saying this animal's not communicating with me in my language, thus it's on it's some other thing that I don't have to listen to,
Yeah.
And so either you're not doing the thing because that if you were to inflict pain on an animal, it would be very uncomfortable for you. Or if you are the one doing that thing, you find a way to, tune it out or justify it or make it, So I think in that sense, we hear the voice of the person doing the harming far louder. The perspective, of course, of the animal who's being harmed, we just decide it doesn't matter as much. And because it's not the same, it's just not, if animals could speak English, if it were a Disney movie, we would be a very different thing, I think.
I agree. Do you think we have to eat animals to be healthy?
No. There's other ways to get those vitamins in your body.
Can we feed the world without meat?
Here's the thing. I feel like that would destroy a lot of farms if it's just is there enough room to keep making these fruits and for a lot of people?
What do we feed to the animals?
I guess that's also me. Yeah.
Well, we feed them crops.
Yeah, that's true.
The main barrier is myself and my lack of moral fortitude about taking an inconvenient action. Honestly.
So inconvenience sounds like the big one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, which is dark and awful, but I think when I really have to ask myself that question, I think that's it.
Then I'll just give you just 2 resources. I will tell you, I thought it was going to be horrifically inconvenient. I thought that was going to be why I couldn't do it. It turns out that it's generally not that inconvenient, especially at home. When you go out, it can be a little bit, but in Durham, not really. There's like a ton of vegan stuff.
And I have plenty of close friends who are vegan and vegetarian, and
awesome.
I see exactly how it's done. I have no excuse.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough.
It sucks. And I mean, every day I kind of kick myself a little bit about it. It's true. I do.
So if
think
you
about it a
enjoyed
lot.
this video and want to help me make this my full-time career, check out my Patreon in the description. And a special shout out to my top tier patrons, Ryan O'Neill and Tom Eisenbeiss.